Apparently I couldn't get out of the Dodge. That's weird. Well, hello, Cody. How are you, sir? Sorry, it took me a little bit. Trying to figure out why I couldn't get out of the freaking Dodge. Farming Sim 25. That's cool. Sup, Tony? What's up, feller? How you doing, sir? Save that. Turn that on. Looks like we're good to go, fellers. Sup, John? That's good to hear, Cody. I'm here. Well, we're all here. Right? By the way, if the server just randomly goes down, we're under a tornado watch until midnight, so storms are supposed to start around like 45 minutes ago. Hasn't yet, but
okay.
Just put it out there.
Yeah, I tried to join I don't know, maybe like 5 minutes ago when it didn't let me.
Yeah, it was stuck. I don't know if it's something I had to do or what, but I was stuck for like 15 minutes on compiling shaders. Alright, what needs to be done? We got a ton of rocks to pick up, looks like. Growth. Oh, all that's ready to harvest? What's in 16 and 17? Is that calm? I think so. What's down there? I guess I'm gonna do some soybeans. And again, it is a bit laggy. And there it goes. Fire alarm.
Fire alarm?
No, traffic collision. Traffic collision at the middle school.
Oh, that kind of fire alarm. Got it. I thought you were talking about the one for your...
No, I had that going off
complex
the other night. Well, we have one of them little indoor electric grills, and I started it to cook something for the wife because she had to close at night. So I started it, and I guess I let it go a little bit too long and set off the smoke detector, and it was not going off for like a good 10 minutes. I was just like fanning it. I had the back door open. The neighbors were knocking on the doors. Like,
there's
all right?
nothing more. Yeah, there's nothing more stressful. We had that when we had the townhouses. It was all like hardwired. Like,
I thought I bought
sprinkler system
combine. Did I not?
And our microwave was above the stove, and normally it's supposed to have a vent that goes outside, right? But this just like the vent just kicked it back into the house. Like,
we're on the Michigan map.
It went up the hood scoop thing, and then it blew right out. So if you're standing in front of it, like right at your face, and so we'd like burn the shit out of something, and it would get so smoky in there. And there's like no bigger anxiety than being the person that sets up the alarm for the whole complex.
Yeah.
Like, it was so stressful. I would literally just like crank open the window, like turn off all the burners, and then sit there and like feverishly like wave with the towel for like 10 minutes until everything was done. Like, I've only had that happen, like the actual fire alarm go off. I lived there for about 4 years. I think it actually went off once, maybe twice.
This is the first time I've set it off since we moved into the new unit. The old unit we used to go off all the damn time. If you had like the air fryer going with the oven on, it constantly set off. Had to like fan it and everything.
I learned that just the fire alarm, if that goes off, it doesn't trigger it for the entire complex. It's only if the sprinkler gets activated.
You activated the sprinkler?
No. I thought that if it went off for me, it went off for everyone, and it went off for me one time, and then that's when I learned. I was like, oh, no, I guess it doesn't go off for everybody, but it was the loudest fire alarm I've ever heard. So if I can hear them doing karaoke next door, they can sure as hell hear the fire alarm.
Yeah, that's what like I said, the neighbors were knocking. Everything all right? It's like, hey, I haven't knocked on it when y'all are. They've set theirs off like 4 or 5 times.
Right, and it's like, unless you see me alone.
If you see me running out of the front door,
I'll be knocking on your doors, telling you to get out. Like, if I'm the one that caused that fire, you're damn sure I'm gonna be kicking in your door, being like, "Get out! I'm so sorry, but get out."
Yeah, this one has a sprinkler system in it as well. The new one. Like, get y'all shit, get out.
I'm really sorry for setting everything on fire. You can't sue me. You can't sue me.
You sure about that?
Yeah, 1000%.
I run over, knock and get the family out, and I'm going in the back door. And I'm just starting to bring shit out as much as I can save.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like I'd be like, if I were the one that actually like set a legitimate fire in the complex, I would be first knocking on everybody's door and just telling them like, I accidentally set a fire and you gotta get out. But I'd also just be like, what do you need? What important document? What do you need? I'll help you get it. Actually, no, I wouldn't say that I started the fire. It would just
fire.
Say there is a fire.
Somebody set their apartment on fire.
Yeah,
you get out.
Specifically, after the Kara retrial, I'd be like, specifically, it was not me. I did not.
Ooh, the last two days have been really good.
Haven't they?
Spicy.
Oh, man. Oh, so spicy. Just like this week was.
Alessi and that one guy getting into it was amazing.
Okay, can we please talk about Welcher and his accident reconstruction? Because all I've seen on TikTok is like impersonations of Blue Man Group. There's a video. I think it's like AI generated, but it's like two guys. One loosely resembles Welcher, and they're just like completely nude. You can only see them from the waist up, and they're standing in front of a Lexus, so they're like dressed up like Blue Man Group, and they're like doing like big dives. Yep. Yeah. See, one of the pictures, because like, if you don't get to watch the trial that day, I highly suggest going to Reddit. I literally every day while I'm at work, I like listen to the trial. And actually what I do is I have a little stand for my phone and I turn the brightness all the way down. So if you're just walking by, you're not going to notice that I'm watching anything, but I'm actually watching because it's a lot more strict than my days of just having my iPad out there just watching whatever the hell I wanted. And yeah, and then I just have a small like Chrome window open that's in like the bottom right of my screen so that no one can really see it, and I'm like constantly refreshing the Reddits. And man, this week has just been so good. Like, I don't know if you heard when the Commonwealth rested their case, they were gonna do like they did a redirect, and he only asked like one question or two questions, and then he was just like nothing further. Then you could hear a juror just go like, "Oh wow," like that's it. Like that's how like you guys are done. And I said the same thing. I was like, wait a second. So this was your last guy, this Welcher guy. That was the best they had.
No, Welcher was the defense's first today.
No.
The defense's first witness.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Pretty sure.
But no. That was DeSorga.
Oh, was?
Yeah, and he's from like a engineering firm out of
Am I getting the
North
days? I
Carolina.
think I'm getting my days mixed up. Never mind.
Yeah, today started the defense's case.
Yeah, I think I'm getting my days mixed up. Because I had to pull it up both days. Because that whole.
Because yesterday was like a half day.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Oh, I've been pissed
was,
at the jury. If I was a jury, like she brought them, or she just they sent them. She sent them out, and then they would just like for a half hour talk, and then she brought them back in. Just be like, all right, we're done for the day. Like,
yeah,
bitch, you couldn't do that a half hour ago.
She did that on, I think it was Tuesday, as well, because they were kind of like late to start because there were new motions over the weekend that she had to rule on, and it got delayed until like 10 o'clock, and then she brought them in. She's like, well, normally, like, you know, you get your normal break, but we're going to skip the break, and we're going to have an abbreviated lunch. Yeah, and then they go for like 10 minutes. They had a sidebar, and she's like, all right, well, you're going to take a 20-minute break. They come back a half an hour later, and they go for a bit, and then she's like, okay, well, I've been notified that we're ahead of schedule, so you can go ahead and take like an extended lunch. And it's like, bitch, can we just like do this? Can we just like have like maybe more than one witness a day? That would be incredible. But I don't know. I mean, so Welcher is the last witness for the Commonwealth, and then he's the one that did the transfer of like the paint transfer experiment, where they backed up a rip roaring 2 miles an hour.
Maybe they don't like it
as he leaned into the tail light,
waiting to feel it out.
So then, this morning was the like motion to dismiss, which was obviously going to be denied.
Yeah, can I just say Alan Jackson's freaking beard annoys the hell out of me.
I like it.
He has it like it doesn't he doesn't have the sideburns come down, and it just kind of goes back. It looks really weird.
He looks like a wild man.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like with his, because the problem with how they televise it is you can only really see like the side profile.
Yeah.
But
that's
there are certain channels.
Annoys me.
Yeah, but there are certain channels where you can see like from the essentially like the judge's stand. There's a camera view that looks back at the defense table, and when he's sitting there, like his weird facial hair on top of like his eyebrow expressions and his like facial expressions, like he looks insane. Yeah, he looks insane. And I think that that's what he's going for. Because they've let Alessi do like 90% of everything so far. And so if I'm one of the jurors, I'm going to be like, I heard from like Jackson once, and I think they heard from Yannetti a couple times. But I'd be like, why aren't these other guys talking?
Well, it's because Alessi's the most obnoxious one. Your Honor.
He's the most polite one.
He's the most obnoxious one.
Like, if you could look up a picture of Nerd.
You know who he reminds me of? Have you ever watched Guy's grocery games or anything Guy Fieri with the guy Justin? That's who he reminds me of. The guy with the curly black hair and glasses.
Okay, yeah. I can see that.
I was sitting there thinking, we were in the pharmacy drive-thru, and I was like, I told my wife, I was like, this is what he reminds me. He reminds me of that guy off Guy's grocery games, the Justin guy. Justin Warner, I think is his name.
Yeah. See, I had a friend growing up that was just like that. And so I just like think of him anytime I see Alessi. I think that they pick him, one, because like
3 more people for
by career, I believe he's an appellate attorney. But the dude has like several degrees in like various fields. Like I think he has like a degree in like chemical engineering or something like that.
Dude's making crack on the side.
Became like a lawyer, and he just learns this stuff. So like he was going through all the math with Welcher, and like he's doing the like. Granted, he probably has like assistants doing the grunt work on it, but like he understands like all of the math that he's tried. Like they went through an entire like physics lesson with like basic like physics equations, and he's like
nerd
going through it, knows it all. Yep, the scientific method. He's like knows everything about that. And I think just like for the jury, he just comes off as the best. Although they shouldn't have him do the cross with Welcher. That was a bad combination.
Let me finish, sir, or Your Honor. I think he is deliberately
waving his hand. Yeah.
Just because I hold my hand like this, I'm not interrupting him.
Yeah, he's distracting the jury. It was like a little kid like tattling. And that's what I'm saying. It's like,
Brandon, what do we owe the pleasure of your existence or your presence?
Alessi on that, and it really didn't help the defense. And like, you need to fight ego with ego. So I would have loved to see Jackson do the cross on that.
That would probably
But-
been pretty good.
It would have been awesome to watch, but like you think nothing got accomplished with Alessi doing the cross, even less would have gotten accomplished. You mentioned the amount of like
Sabas.
objections and sidebars that would have happened
Dude,
if Jackson did it.
I've watched a handful of trials, and I've never seen as many sidebars as in this freaking trial. It's ridiculous.
For whatever reason, like
Come on, you
Bev
redneck.
for both trials has denied. So both the Commonwealth and the defense agree on. So you know how it's normally it's like objection, and then they state the reason.
Yeah.
So Massachusetts doesn't have that, but both sides agreed to like allow that to avoid the amount of sidebars, and she denied it both times for 2 trials. She's denied it, and it's like, well, the prosecution and the defense agrees on this. Why are you doing it? And then you blame the lawyers.
That's just like their sidebars.
Yeah. Well, this time, I think we talked about this last week, how the jury called them out on the sidebars. Like, from the jump in the trial, they were like, what's going on with all of these sidebars? Like, this is kind of annoying for us. Because they put on the white noise machine. And then Bev had to explain that to them. She's like, I'm sorry, I know you guys don't like them. But yeah, we already talked about this.
Yeah, I don't blame them. I'm annoyed watching it. If I was sitting there and knew that I had to take time away from my schedule to sit here and
For sure.
watch these people argue like this and squabble and sidebar every 5 fucking minutes, no, I'd lose
Yeah.
my shit.
Yep.
I'd be talking to everybody about the trial just so I could get excused.
I just have to
What's up, Chad? How you doing?
understand. So, like, I told you, there's like Sue O'Connell does all of like the juror reactions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I would just love to know what this jury is. It sounds like it's a bunch of young kids from all accounts, like
That's what I
like
what
Gen
I've
Z.
saw.
But a lot of them are like interacting with the like data and like scientific sides of things. Like that's when she's saying that, like, you know, not everyone takes notes, but when these things come up with like anything that's regarding like reports or like medical examiners or like scientific things, they're all taking notes, and they're not really paying attention when it comes to like the subjective information, like the she said this, I think I heard her say this, and then they go back and forth on like, well, what did she mean when she said that? And that's when they kind of lose the jury. So it's like, okay, they're paying attention to
Facts.
science and data, which is very promising. But then I kind of look at what like Gen Z is right now. Like, who are? It seems like kind of the opposite of that. The majority of that generation. That
Yeah.
like focuses on like facts and data and like pushes aside like the subjective stuff.
Yeah, because they're usually all about the gossip. He said, she said. Jesus. She said.
Mhm.
Fuck.
Unless they like took the subjective and like read it faster than us millennials could read it. Like they came to their conclusions on that. Like all right, we have enough information on the social side. Like we get it. And like they already have their minds.
Got it.
Yeah, like they, yeah, like, oh yeah, she got ghosted. or like he got ghosted and got pissed, whatever it is, their reasoning. Like, I'm sure they picked up on that quickly, and they're probably all aligned on that. So now they can just focus on the details.
Well, see, my problem is I don't think I could, if I was on the jury, I don't think I could say guilty of murder. Like, I don't, vehicular manslaughter, maybe, but
If she hit him, then it would be like I could see guilty on the counts 1 and 3. But like, I don't know, maybe not.
is the stream fine for anybody? I gotta load
The
it.
leaving
Circle.
the scene. Because I feel like you can't have one without the other.
Seems fine now.
I don't know. To everyone else's point, that like, I think the only thing that at this point that I would charge her with is just like DUI.
Yeah, I mean, we got plenty of proof of that.
At the minimum, like, she has admitted to it on camera. So, but the problem with that is because then if she got charged for just that, like, it's not an included charge, so she's not, like, doesn't have a charge for DUI. But let's say everything gets dismissed on this, and then they subsequently just charge her with DUI, right? Because they could.
Could they if they didn't witness
It's a separate charge.
I mean, she admitted.
No. They could. She admitted to it on camera. So I'm saying they could subsequently charge her with DUI. But to your point is, yes, she admitted it. But is there any evidence other than like a blood draw, serum test, her admitting that she shouldn't have been driving, but nobody witnessed it? And there's no like police report about her being intoxicated, like arrest report, let's say, in regards to DUI. So there's no, that wouldn't hold up.
Yeah, I think if they're,
so right there, I would remove any charge that's associated with while intoxicated, and I think that was it the third charge?
I think that's where they set themselves up to fail and they went straight for murder. It's just like,
I mean, you really can't.
Yeah.
Do like murder 2 is not even on the table. Like, if you're that jury and you know nothing about the trial and you saw the Commonwealth rested their case, and let's say that you understood the implications of that, meaning like the Commonwealth is done with giving you evidence about the charges, you couldn't honestly sit there and just be like, well, that does sound like, you know, like relatively premeditated.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Or like intentional.
No. I mean, she was drunk. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like hammered. Like, listen, if she does get a DUI out of this one, I'll be like, yeah, deserved, like well deserved, and maybe you should lose your license forever. I'd be okay with that. Like, I never want to drive down there at night if she's on the road. No.
if you do get to take a breathalyzer, so when you get pulled over, you can be like, hold up, before you start writing me a ticket, I'm gonna need you to blow into this. See if
Well,
you're hammered.
around here they have the I'm sure you have them in Delaware, like in order to be able to turn on the car, you have to do like the
Oh
breathalyzer.
yeah. Yep. Because
there was someone arrested around here that they got arrested because they they had a warrant because they broke into it to deactivate it. It's like, are you that desperate?
I don't understand it. How do you get to that point where you've done something good? Well, then again, that's where my stepmother's son is. He had the remote breathalyzer on his car.
Oh, right.
And then he ended up going to jail because he got drunk one night and drove another vehicle, crashed it, and then drove it back to his house. So he got charged with DUI plus leaving the scene of accident.
Oh yeah, yeah. That'll happen. Where's my stuff?
Just like he was going, he made it annoying for everybody else. So it was a long time ago. He was in an accident at Crossroads down the road from like where Walmart is.
Yeah.
And he was drunk out of his mind, blew a stop sign, got T-boned. So they added a stop sign in there, made it a four-way. And he was going on, he was like, man, if they had done that, maybe I wouldn't have gotten in my accident. And my dad just looked at him and was like, you're the one that ran the fucking stop sign that was there. It's like, it would not have prevented you from getting in an accident whatsoever. He goes, now everybody else has got to be punished for your dumbass mistakes.
Man, I hate to complain about petty shit, but my route to work, I could either drive back to the street that I lived on, which is like a state highway, and then take that over to catch the interstate, which like I could do, and it would probably take like a minute longer, but I don't want to do that. But my normal route is just like a nice quiet back road that kind of dumps you out onto a main road that hits you up to the interstate, and I like that very much. But they added traffic lights, and now like the afternoon commute can be kind of busy in that area, but like I've never seen like a full-blown traffic jam. And they put in a traffic light, and the shit was like so far backed up, it added like 10 minutes. Like this one traffic light added 10 minutes to my drive in town. And I'm like, granted, so like I live on the west side of my town, and I have to go through this. I drive a mile down the road. I'm in a different town, and that's the town that has these lights. So I'm not a resident, but like I do like local politics, and I just want to know like who the hell decided that, and like who voted for it, and why. Like, what was the argument for and against? because I know the argument against it. It's like, it's not a problem.
That's what they did. Well, all they did here was the main light that we have to go through to get over to Milford is they changed the pattern up. So it's median dividing the highway, and they have a little road in between. So it used to be the light turned green and turning traffic that was in the center of the median got to go first, and then they send both sides on either side of the highway. They'd send them together. Well, there was an issue where it would get backed up with people trying to turn, so they switched it to now all lanes get the green light first, and then they stop either side and just have the turning traffic go to clear the intersection.
Backwards. Yeah.
So, in theory, sounds good, but now it takes you like 2 to 3 times to get through that light, like light changes just to get through that light now, and I sat there for like 6 minutes the other day because I had to catch 3 freaking lights instead of just one. This is BS. This is so BS. Because people don't know how to stay clear of the goddamn intersection.
Right. And so what I do is when I see that stuff happening, if I'm trying to like make a left-hand turn, I literally just make a right-hand turn, go down like a quarter of a mile, and then like take a left into a parking lot, bang a Yui, and come back, and then I just don't have to deal with it.
I honestly thought about doing that because you can make a right
I do
at
that
lane,
constantly,
and then you can go down and cut between the gas station and Walgreens, and then you cut across the other side lanes.
And then you can just like take a right-hand turn off that, and then you're not in the turn lanes.
But the problem with
you get to go a little bit faster through that.
But the problem with this intersection is if you're not within like the first 3 cars, you can't do that because people, for some reason, want to hug the curb instead of hugging the lane or the line. So they're so far over to the right that you can't get past them because of the curb there on the corner. So you have to wait until they go. So a lot of times, if you're not within the first 3 cars, you cannot get through there.
Dude, we live in a town that has like, I shit you not, I think it would go down in the books as the most confusing rotary or like traffic circle or either one of those, like in the history of driving. Because it's a traffic circle / rotary. However, there are 4 main roads that lead into this, and there's traffic lights. And the traffic circle itself is 4 lanes wide. Each road leading into it is 2 lanes wide. So there's a constant debate of if you're in the outside lane, you're required to take the first exit from that traffic circle, because in order to not do that, you would have to cut across 1, potentially 2 lanes of traffic, because that second lane is also a turnoff for that road, but it's also a lane to continue around the traffic circle. And if you were to go, and sometimes I have to do this if I'm heading north, go around almost the entirety of the said traffic circle, you have to work your way over across 4 lanes of traffic to get to the inside lane, so that you're not required to peel off of the traffic circle. It is like the amount of accident. Well, first of all, the amount of times that I roll down my window and blatantly give people the finger every time I go through that goddamn intersection. Literally every single time. And the thing is, like, I'm directly across said traffic circle from like everything from like grocery stores. There is a Walmart there. It has like Starbucks, restaurants and stuff.
Brady really just come in, say hello. And
So like I have to go through that to do anything. And honestly, it's either that or it's the 5-mile drive on the winding back road that I was telling you about.
That makes Cody happy.
And then going over to like that town.
I like a day.
Similar things.
Madman Cody away.
And like 90% of the time, I end up going over to the other town.
I had to avoid it at all costs.
Yep, pretty much.
I hate roundabouts around here, and they're just single lane.
Roundabouts, that's the other name for it. Thank you.
And they're becoming all the rage. Like, they're putting 5 in on one road.
They are, if done correctly, like without traffic lights, it's yields. Like yields are what make the traffic circles or the roundabouts literally go around. It's a yield. Like it's like a dance. You wait.
Nice
so you can find a spot.
Learn as you go. Yeah, but that's the problem. Too many people don't understand how they work. Like yeah. I think if they were to put one there, it's a T intersection on the road that leads to Walmart, and then it's a state route.
T intersections.
Yeah.
Way more improved with traffic circles.
It's always a hassle coming out of there because it's a main, like it's where it's like where all the businesses, and it's now it's even worse because a lot of people avoid the main intersection in town. Like even the ambulances, when they're going to the hospital, instead of going through the main, like the straight shot to the hospital, they go up and around because it's quicker to just shoot that road and get to Route 1 and shoot down Route 1. So now it's like a busy main route, and it's just a stop sign, a one way, like just the people turning off of what's called Airport Road. When people come off that road, that's the only ones that got stop signs. So you have traffic on a main Delaware route coming through non-stop, and you got to try to wiggle your way out. So that definitely beneficial to put a roundabout in there, but they're planning 4 more other ones on that exact same road where they don't have that issue. It's like,
right.
So you're addressing the problem, but you're over addressing it by putting 4 more on the same exact road. It's like you don't have that issue anymore unless you're planning on bringing up development, which their battery put in. They've started work on it. Industrial park right across the street from where this intersection's at. Knocked out the power to the light down the road twice now already.
Jeez.
And I can only see it's going to do the same thing here when they put in a big development behind Food Line. I think it's like 168 plots single family homes they're putting in behind Food Line. It's going to be a madhouse on that road. It's already bad with people because you have people turning into the Food Line shopping center, and you have people that don't understand there's a go around lane for a freaking reason. Here soon, my town's gonna be as bad as Camden is right now. We went grocery shopping in Camden, and freaking, we come out of the Walmart parking lot, and it is just miles upon miles of traffic. I'm just like, what the fuck? This isn't Dover. Why is it this bad? On a Thursday afternoon? Like, are you kidding me?
I feel like traffic's just getting worse everywhere.
Pretty much, but I mean, you're just outside of Boston, so you're gonna have traffic.
I'm like an hour.
Oh, well, you really right out. Anyway,
No, I have progressed. So, yes, when we were like in my early years, I was like living within 3 miles of Boston, and then I moved, and then I was like 15 miles outside of Boston, and then moved again, and now I'm like, yeah, good hour without traffic outside of Boston.
yeah. Well, still, you're close
But we
enough.
just get a shitload of traffic. It's just more densely packed.
Then I live in still very much a rural part of Delaware, and it's just creeping in. It's just getting busier and busier, and just like, and the 3 lanes of highways moving further south down. And I was like, oh no, keep that shit up north. You got so many people. It's like it's overcrowded, and it's there's too many problems up north. Yeah, so you're gonna bring all that shit down here? No, get the hell out. Get the hell out.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what we've been experiencing, because like I only lived close to the city for like social stuff. I've spent most of my time outside of the city, and it's always been like very quiet, and like, we didn't really have traffic at all. And in just like the past, like I'd say like 7 years,
Where will our money go?
it's just gotten out of control.
How we down to $2,000? What I miss? Yeah, that's
Like I'm not used to traffic. I'm not. I grew up with zero traffic in my life.
the only time we like until like I'd say like the past 5 years we've really experienced traffic was if you go to Dover or it's Fair Week. Fair Week is batshit crazy around here, but
Yeah, like okay, yeah, but if you have specific events, like I grew up, and like the big thing around us was like the Topsfield Fair, and man, like come Topsfield Fair time, like even the back roads around that area were congested because like the main roads were packed, so naturally just all the back roads get wild. And like I grew up close to Salem, so
Halloween.
from like September 1st to October 31st, it's like avoid 128 at all costs, because you would sit in, like, say I worked in like, I don't know, even like, no, not like, but like Waltham or like Burlington, like it would still take me to get through Salem, probably like hour and a half, 2 hours, and it's only like 15 miles.
Jesus. That's how it is after Memorial Day. You just kind of avoid 404. Forgot beach traffic.
I know. My parents came up here today, and I was telling them, because we're going to like family reunion at the end of June, and we are supposed to go somewhere else too, but we decided not to. And my mom was talking about something that's going on. They're doing good. It's like the 50th anniversary of Jaws, and they're doing something on Martha's Vineyard and stuff. Just like, oh yeah, you should come down for that. And I was like, no offense, but I have no desire to go down to like the Cape in the summer. from here, it'll take me probably like with traffic, like 3 hours to get down there. Yeah, it's just a bunch of tourists and everything's super expensive. I'm like, why would I go down there?
Because Jaws. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah,
dun,
I'm
dun,
sorry.
dun.
I'm not gonna go sit in traffic if I don't have to.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that one. That's kind of like me when
And with it being
race
so
weekend. Well, race weekend's not really all that bad anymore. It used to be terrible. That and Firefly, but
Yeah. Well, Firefly is no longer.
yeah, no, they axed that.
Which, like, honestly, I'm glad that. I think the year that I went was like the best year that they had.
Hey, it was still pretty popular. I don't know why they canceled it. I mean, look at Ocean City. The Ocean City just did the Rock the Boardwalk, and that shit was packed. Absolutely packed.
I mean,
I kind of wanted to go, but I'm glad I didn't.
Any
'cause I
festival
probably have
with big
anxiety.
names. Yeah. I know. My days of going to like festivals are
Nice, Chad.
so done. Like, I can either go like full hippie mode, or I need to like go to like one concert that has like maybe like 3 good bands in one day and then go home. There's no in between. So like I wouldn't like we had Boston Calling. Well, also, I mean, well, first, like this is Boston Calling. And there are like some bands I'd like to see, but like I don't want to see all of them, and I'm not gonna go spend the day in like the athletic field at Harvard to see these bands play. If I'm going to a music festival, it should be like a legitimate music festival. And I'll say that
No
Firefly
shit.
was a legitimate music festival because you could camp for the entire time, but you can't camp at like Boston Calling. Where the hell are you going to camp?
Saturday had Def Leppard and Rob Zombie, Hailstorm,
there's-
Bush,
yeah, there's your
Chevelle,
problem.
Flyleaf. Why can't I pronounce that? Mammoth, WVH. I don't know who those. Struts. Don't know who they are. Extreme. Don't know who they are. Puddle of Mud, Everclear, Trap, Kat Von D, and Royale Lynn. Sunday had Nickelback, Shinedown, 3 Days Grace, Alice Cooper, Brett Michaels, Candlebox. I don't know who Night Ranger is. Crossfade.
You honestly say that for
Blackstone Cherry, Fuel, Saliva.
how much were the tickets? If you were to do the 4-day pass, how much were
That's
those
2
tickets?
days. 2 days.
That's over 2 days?
Yeah.
Okay, what was the 2-day pass? What did that cost?
I don't know because it was past that. Let me see if I can Google it.
Because like I'm willing to see new bands at like in like filler times and stuff, but I don't know. It's got to be worth it for the headliners. And based off of those headliners, for 2 days, I wouldn't pay more than like $100.
$214.32 plus $35 in fees.
I wouldn't do that. Can you camp there?
No, it's on the beach.
I wouldn't do that. Nope.
Yeah, but you have to pay to get it. You can walk the boardwalk. You can see it right from the boardwalk. You've probably been closer than, unless you got there really early and just camped out next to the stage.
Well, I guess it would depend on what amenities are included with a ticket. Because to your point, like if you can just see it, and not pay anything. Yeah, it seems like the more plausible route.
You had access to the food and bars that were in there. You couldn't get that on outside. Well, you can go to different food and bars, but you have to be along the certain section of the boardwalk to actually see it. A crazy amount of people. Jesus Christ. They're doing a country one too, in the fall, I think.
I can't support country music anymore.
Not country anymore.
Well, I mean, first of all, it hasn't been for a while. And second, the moment that I realized that Chanel West Coast does country,
or decided when did this happen? What's up, Jesse?
Yeah, she's now country.
Oh my Lord Jesus.
Yeah, well, let's put it this way. So since leaving Ridiculousness, but would follow the series of events, she got her own show on, I think, Amazon Prime, which lasted one season and then got canceled. Then, since that happened, she put out a single that is country.
I'm pretty good, Jesse. Thanks for asking.
Everyone made fun of her about that. And her reasoning for it is that she grew up in very rural Ohio. So, that's her defense.
That's the problem.
In case you wanted to know.
Too many people are coming in and wanting to be country, like, instead of building an actual country, they're bringing all these people from other genres in to do country albums. And
well, yeah, but it's just because it's like, okay, like, there are some people, like some producers that like have a lot invested in the people that they select, and so they kind of like force it on everyone, and then they're just gonna like keep going until they find a genre that sticks for the person that they have signed. And that's pretty much how we get most of this. I mean, essentially that's, Noah Khan.
No.
Okay, well, Noah Khan, if you came out of your cave, Noah Khan is put it this way, he's more popular than Upchurch.
Can't be. Never heard of him.
Right. Right. Therefore, it does not exist. Or at Burgess. But he had like a lot of top name producers like invested in his career, and it didn't really take off at first, so they like pushed in a different direction and it worked out for him, and now he's like what Post Malone is, in that like they're constantly adding like such and such song featuring Post Malone or like featuring Noah Khan. So
Never heard of it.
That's okay. Well, if you get a chance, give yourself a listen to the viral country hit from Chanel West Coast called "Little Bit Country."
I think I'll pass. I think I'll pass on that. I couldn't stand to be fair, I didn't really watch much of Ridiculousness. I was team Tosh.0 all the way. Like I just Tosh.0 was so much funnier. And I could not stand her voice. Don't you dare disrespect Daniel Tosh and my presence.
I more appreciated the mindlessness of Ridiculousness. Like you don't really have to pay attention. Like it's just on, and then if you just see something funny, that's pleasant. In comparison to Tosh.0, where it's like an actual like segment show, if you will.
I enjoyed it a lot more.
But that's why Ridiculousness is the most popular show on MTV, because it's a bunch of people that are probably like sitting there on their phones
MTV
and they just
shows
have
suck these days.
right. Like I'll put Ridiculousness on. Well, not anymore, but like when Chanel West Coast was on there, I would just put it on for like the entirety of the Sunday because it ran all day Sunday, and I'd sit there and like watch like TikToks and shit on my phone, and it would be on, and then I would like occasionally watch if it looked like there was like a funny segment, and that's about it. But that's all it was good for.
So what you're saying is it was good
But
for not watching.
Sadly, it sucks without Chanel West Coast.
It sucked with her.
Well, if you think it sucked with her, it sucks even worse without her.
I can't stand it. I'd probably enjoy it more without her because I couldn't stand her voice.
No, it was a weird when they did like a rotating guest list. Like the guest list was all like weird people. It was like models and shit, and it's like, listen, Rob, like I get it, but like you're married, you have a family and stuff. Like, why are you inviting like just like models and just like
That's the problem. Rob was never the funniest one. Like everybody watched Rob Big for Big. Like he was the best. He was the part of the show. Like I don't know why they went all in on Rob Dyrdek. He's not funny at all.
Well, he went all in. Well, this is gonna sound weird. He went all in on himself.
Yeah, but
because
MTV
he's able to
like they had like 3 or 4 different shows. It's just like
right because he's able to surround himself by people because he's not funny. He just sits in front of the screen and does like a crazy like reenactment pose of something, and then Chanel West Coast laughs and says something stupid, and then Stilo like I don't know makes a joke about like basketball. But like it worked. Obviously, it's worked. But to your point, like
it worked because people like you would turn it on and not watch it.
Well, no. Let's put it this way. I stopped paying attention to it because I had seen every single episode. Like I have up until Chanel West Coast left, I have seen every single episode several times.
You need a hobby.
No, because it used to be the thing that like in the early years of like my working at home career, like it was just on TV. It was before streaming services, but like it was just constantly on. So I've watched it. Constantly. It's like putting on like HDTV. Like it's gonna be like home renovation shows. You know what to expect. It's never gonna change. So you can just like throw on Ridiculousness and you're like, yeah, it's the same thing all day.
Sounds awful. That would be like my personal hell. Ridiculousness on 24/7. I can't change the channel. I just have to sit there and watch it. That'd be my personal hell.
I don't watch it for the commentary. Just because, like, I can't really, like, sit there and watch, like, Fail Army stuff all the time. I would.
Oh, I could.
No. I'm saying I could. But the problem is that it's so diluted at this point that, like, I rarely get to see, like, new things. It's always, like, compilations of stuff that, like, I've seen a billion times. And it's like, okay. Like, I need something new. So if there's a new episode of something like Ridiculousness, I know that it's going to be something I haven't seen before. So at least that. But I can't keep going back to the same fucking, like, Fail Army compilation videos.
True. But that's where they get a lot of their material from, isn't it?
The later ones were mostly, at that point, were like TikTok.
Man. I was just watching your vids. Well, welcome to the stream, Chase.
Goddamn thing.
Oh, man.
Don't I have a harvester?
Yeah, the Australian one.
No. Where'd I leave that?
I think it's in 33.
Might be. You might be onto something.
Because it was, if you tab around, it was the one right before my combine. Because I was like, I couldn't find
harvesting that.
I couldn't find mine. I was like, "Where's mine?" So I just started tabbing around. I was like, "Oh, there it is!" And I turned sideways, like, "Nope, that's BJ's." And I tabbed again. And that wasn't mine.
Didn't even finish this. What a loser! I was about like
classic PJs.
I know. I was about to start on a different field here. Oh no. Oh, my frame rate just dropped.
You might be loading in my area. All the stuff. If you haven't been on that side of the map yet, that's probably what caused me to drop frames. Once it all gets loaded in, then it will.
Yeah, I also put on HDR. So I'm wondering if that's the problem too.
I had to refill my water bottle.
I mean, it looks a hell of a lot better.
How'd you do that? Is that in the game settings, or is that?
It's in the main menu, under like the graphic settings.
Nah, you probably can't be on the server for that, can you? Oh no, it is.
No, you have to go back to the main menu. I thought.
If you hit escape and go to settings, there's game settings, general settings, and graphic settings. I don't know if that specific options in here.
Let me see. What the hell's going on upstairs?
Your wife set the house on fire. She's trying to take out important documents. Oh shit.
Sorry. It's a mix of several things. The washing machine's also going, so that makes random noises that still kind of scare me.
What's up, Brett? How are you, man? I still haven't figured out what this one sound is we keep hearing. It's just randomly you hear a and it stops. And like
from me?
No, in this apartment. At first we thought it was a dishwasher, but it's not a dishwasher because the dishwasher doesn't, like, it can be not running and it makes a sound. But it depends on where you're at in the apartment where it sounds like it's coming from. So if you're sitting on the couch in the living room, it sounds like it comes from the kitchen area. But if you're sitting, like if you're out in the kitchen, it sounds like it comes from the living room area. So we're so confused on what it is. But just randomly, you hear a and then it stops.
Yeah, some of the settings you
It's
can't adjust
nice
in that menu.
Yeah. I was like, let me flip it on, see what I can, what it looks like. I don't know if I have it on or not. I probably don't. So it's got the default.
So
settings.
what I don't understand, and that's where I kind of like left off my journey, because I'm just like the king of getting super into something and getting it like 90% set up, and then I just forget about it. And like I used to know every little detail about these monitors, and I know what their I used to know what like their HDR setting was. But then where I got confused was because there's also a standard Windows setting for HDR, but it's separate from the NVIDIA HDR setting. So I didn't know which one to use. And then when the games have HDR settings, some games are for the like graphics card and some of them are for Windows. And that's where I was just like, you got me. I don't care anymore. Like, I got this far.
I try to tell BJ's that, you know, when it, at the old apartment, it drained water, like it just drained right into a hole in the HVAC closet.
Because I know that these
and it almost sounded like someone was in there
monitors
peeing.
are
Now
HDR
it drains out back.
But
so
you can't adjust it on the monitor itself. It has to be done through the GeForce, whatever it's called now.
Oh, it's back to the NVIDIA app.
Right.
It was NVIDIA, yes. And then they went to the GeForce app. Now it's back to the NVIDIA app.
Correct. My
'Cause apparently it's
sincerest
owned by the
apologies.
same people that own HBO.
Right. Yes, yeah, we went over that.
They're removing the best part of what Max was. They're taking away all of the Discovery shows. It's like that was like the best part about it. Now you guys removing it.
Wait. Are they bringing back the Discovery Plus?
Yeah, it's still saying they never stopped it. But now they're
you're not gonna be able to have HBO. So I thought it was just a rebranding of the name. That's what they said. That's what they said it was.
Yeah, but they were. If you look more into it, they've removed all the Discovery, like all the reality TV shows.
Like TLC shit's still on there. No,
but
TLC still on there.
Once it's out, it's going back to Discovery. Like once the contract's up on it, because they've pulled a ton of like the Travel Channel shows and Cooking Network shows off of it, and put it back on Discovery Plus. Because I'm in a Ghost Adventure group, and that they were talking about that, how it's like you can only get like season 25 in the latest season, and then someone shared a link.
Pissed me off because I like watching the show alone on the History Channel, and like it didn't have like, if you're gonna put a show on a streaming service, have all the seasons.
Yep. So they're moving everything.
Ones.
They're moving everything. Once the streaming rights are up, they're moving everything back to
Discovery Plus. So
yeah.
are they divesting?
I don't know. They sent around a survey, and they were asking people if, and one of the options was like, I'm tired of paying for Discovery Plus content. So I guess they're saying the reason why the price went up was because of Discovery Plus being added into it. But
the thing is, like, why? Wait, hang on. That logic makes no sense, because all of the content from Discovery Plus moved over to Max. It was anticipated, or it was supposed to be a full integration. So, but I know that Discovery Plus still existed as an app, and people could still watch that stuff.
Yep. Now they're pulling it all back off Max.
All of it?
From what I read, they've already pulled a ton of shit off, and they said they're removing even more in the next few months. Let's see if I can find the article.
Yeah, because I'm trying to. God, I feel like I'm being like. Feeling like a
Max, formerly HBO Max, has been removing various Discovery shows and other content in anticipation for its merger with Discovery Plus. This includes reality shows like 90 Day Fiance, Ghost Adventures, and Gold Rush.
But wait, go back, because they already merged. Like Discovery and HBO already
began
merged.
May 1st, 2025, and continue throughout the month.
No. So Discovery Plus, or Discovery, the network, and HBO,
they
merged a while back.
AI's response. Let's see what they are.
Okay, well that's not. Yeah, that's. And this is the problem I have with AI coming into the job that I left, is because it gives you information, and what you said is true, but it's true 3 years ago, or maybe even 4 years ago. Wouldn't be surprised if that article is from 2023.
Now this is it says May 1st, 2025.
No, the AI response is probably from, I don't know. So they still owned. So Discovery Plus still existed while they transitioned everything over to Max. So then they had two platforms that had the same content. They never got rid of Discovery Plus. They're just getting rid of whatever was on Discovery Plus that they were putting on HBO Max. And it's just going to go back to Discovery Plus. In a nutshell, right?
That's what it seems like.
So then what the fuck would be like the overall general question I would ask? like you increased costs because you said it had something to do with the integration of all this stuff, and then you kept the prices, but now you're divesting that, and then you're probably going to increase the prices again. Like, that's, oh my god, it's just so corrupt. And it's like, is there a way to just get the essentials? Like, I need to be informed about like non-biased news. I need that, and I need sports.
They haven't,
and that's
given
about it.
Actual reason. It says since Max was first introduced as HBO Max in 2020, the platform exploded in popularity. Considering the fact the platform is owned by Warner Brothers Discovery, it may seem strange that dropping so many shows there instinctively holds rights to. That being said, these shows will still be largely available on the Discovery Plus streaming platform, ensuring that fans won't be losing out on them for good, at least for the time being. And I mean, they've even cut like their HBO original programs off of it. So I don't know.
No, they've been. Wait, no. What?
Yeah, it says HBO originals like the 2014 hit series The Leftovers won't be safe from losing their spot in the Max streaming library. Fans took to social media to voice their displeasure, not to mention their concern for what this means for the future of the favorite HBO shows.
All right, that's it. Okay, come on. Like, that's just clickbait to cause panic. Anything in their own. Think about how stupid that sounds.
They've actually removed their some HBO shows, because there was another one. One of the comic book shows. I can't remember what the name of it was. They've removed.
Sometimes there's ones that have performed so poorly that they just get rid of it completely. I mean, every network does that, but like, if they're not going to put their full library up there, then that's a problem. But they would never not do that, because anytime someone, so put it this way, anything that HBO owns is free to them, right? In terms of like a streaming, from a streaming perspective. So it makes no sense to exclude anything, because they want to hit every audience possible. So let's say that there's someone that's like weirdly obsessed with a show that did so poorly on HBO, but it's there. Like, regardless of how popular it is, they're going to make money off that. So there's no incentive not to put their entire catalog.
I'm just reading you what they've said. They've actually pulled it off.
And I'm telling you that what they're saying right now is to create panic, to get people to subscribe.
Would that cause people to unsubscribe? Like, I unsubscribe from Max, but
no, but they're gonna like reach out and like start posting on social media like, don't go away with these things.
I'd rather just have Discovery Plus.
It happens. It happens constantly. They threaten to take away stuff, and then people make a stink about it, and they're like, "Okay, we'll keep it." And it's like, "Well, you were never going to get rid of it in the first place."
No, it's already off the platform.
Yes, but it's only going to be. I guarantee you, I'll put money on it. Within whenever this finalizes, it's going to back. I promise you, it'll be back.
I think they're going to remove it to get people to subscribe to both, make more money off of it.
Nope.
Bet.
I'll take that. You know what the funny thing is that like if they like they're not gonna get Discovery's not gonna get any of the Magnolia stuff. And that sucks. Because outside of that and Gold Rush, like they had nothing going for themselves. Maybe Shark Week.
Food Network. Food Network. You got Travel Channel.
Food Network sucks.
Oh, you shut your face.
I only like the cooking shows. The cooking competition shows, I hate.
Oh, I love me some Guys Grocery Games.
I will actively watch Guys Grocery Games. All right, don't get me wrong. I will watch it. Okay, I've probably watched. It's the same. It's the same thing as ridiculousness for me. All right, like it's literally something that you can just have on, and you can pay attention because you're like, oh, I didn't know that you could like cook bacon like that. You know, like every once in a while, there's like, you know, like this is how you like julienne a pepper, and it's like, oh shit. You mean I won't cut my finger off? Okay.
Yeah, the guy, but Adam Richmond kind of went batshit crazy, and then he came back normal. Now he's doing something
like
for Hot
we
Wheels,
all
isn't he?
know that like the entirety of that is rigged, and that's kind of the problem that I have.
I miss Captain Phil from Deadliest Catch. The show hasn't been the same.
It's interesting to watch the food
not left
get made because there's certain things that are like, oh, I'd be like, oh, I've never thought about like doing that kind of dish, but I'm also not a fancy chef, so I wouldn't be able to do it in the first place. But like the entirety of it is scripted.
What's up, Austin? How are you? Yeah, Captain Phil was my favorite. I mean, I like. Don't get me wrong. I like Jonathan Hillstrand and Sig, but
it was diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Ever since Captain Phil died, it hasn't been the same. Well, I do love me some Triple D too.
Triple D.
I'm pretty good, sir. Thanks for asking.
Have they been down to your area?
Like once. It made like all the headlines. Like,
it made
guys,
like
yeah,
national
coming
news.
to town.
Joe Biden came back.
Yeah, that's 100%. Like that's all our news was. Joe Biden did this. Joe Biden did that.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's on office. Now we have our top news story is train horns too loud in Harrington. They actually yes. Got a story on the region news.
Local news.
Yeah. About
local
the
news
train horns in my town. It's the region.
News.
It's Delmarva. So
no, there's no. The hell you have regional news? The hell is that?
It's the Delmarva region. So like Maryland, Virginia, Delaware.
Why would you care about anything that happens in like southwestern Virginia?
It's just the Delmarva part of the southeastern, or no, northeastern Virginia. Just the Delmarva part of Virginia, not the whole entirety of Virginia.
Alexandria East.
So like anything that happens in that region that they talk about, the Eastern Shore. But it's we don't have like a Delaware dedicated news channel.
News.
We have Delaware
What?
newspaper. Yeah.
You just get a newspaper.
Our local news is based out of Salisbury, Maryland, so we don't have like a Delaware dedicated station in my region. It's just the Delmarva News. Triple D's all.
Do you have like a, I don't know, like a local paper? And not like a one that's like
just a state paper,
compiled by. Okay.
Milford was doing one for a while that we got for some reason, but
it's like I used to be a paper boy for like the Salem Evening News, and that was the like not like the only North Shore paper, but it was like kind of like, I don't know, like a group of like 10 or 15 towns like combined. It was like the local paper.
Yeah, we just have the Delaware State Journal, Delaware News Journal, or whatever it's called. It covers the entire state. Yeah, we have 4 news stations like in town alone. They all suck. Well, you gotta have 4 news stations that report on all the fucking meth heads in town.
Yeah, and tornadoes.
Oh, and tornado, yeah.
Or lack thereof.
Can you imagine? It's like one news station's like, there's a tornado, and the other three's like, there's not a tornado. No,
bright and sunny over here.
I just looked outside the studio, and I think he's crazy. I don't see a tornado. Just ripped right through the news station. Well, shit, he was right.
Clint, I'm pretty sure I'm actually looking out the window right now. I'm pretty sure I can see a rainbow.
Just the weathermen beefing at the 6 o'clock hour.
I mean, we have a very competitive market here between like CBS, ABC, NBC, and then I don't know, a couple like local news networks, and they always trash on each other, which is actually kind of nice to hear. So, like, I know someone else said that it was going to be like a 80% chance of rain, but like over here at Channel 7, we're saying it's going to be about a 50% chance. And I'm like, that's pretty petty, Chris. That's pretty petty, but
it's like the scene in Anchorman where they're all fighting out back.
60% chance. Yeah. Pretty much.
Over here. Get that corn. Gotta get that. Gotta get that. Corn. Yeah, JT, what did you mean by visitation? My wife wants to know. Because I took it as you were visiting
I mean,
someone
we were
in
supposed to
jail.
get the really bad nor'easter, and that ended up being what am I thinking? Nothing. Ended up being nothing.
Yeah, it was supposed to be raining when I started.
We didn't even get rain. We didn't even get rain. It was supposed to be a nor'easter. They're like, if this were going to be in like February or March, we'd be getting like 1.5 to 2 feet of snow.
And Can Reed be
And it's
hitting her
like-
boyfriend as he's drunk outside
What?
the party.
Right. And the waterfall bar would be handing out free to-go glasses for your beverage. Uncapped.
Oh, so she was right, because she said, does that mean for a funeral? You call them visitations? We call them viewings.
But if you get a chance, definitely watch the testimony from today. And in particular,
I watched most of it right up until they went to lunch.
oh, okay. Well, it got interesting after lunch.
Oh, of course it did.
Yeah. And then the last part of that is, I won't spoil it for you, but they had a few motions at the end of the day. And one of them is they did an impromptu voir dire on one of Michael Proctor's friends that was in the text
when
chain.
You said visitation. I thought it was.
So
you're visiting
you know
someone
that
in
they,
prison.
the defense,
My wife was like, "Is that me for a
filed
funeral?"
a
or
motion
something?"
for
We call 'em
supplemental
viewings,
witnesses.
where you go to the viewing prior to the funeral, and then you have the funeral.
Like essentially like adding to their witness list, like last minute. I don't know if you know that.
No, what?
Okay. So the day that I think the day that the Commonwealth rested the case, or the day before, the defense filed a motion to basically like request additional witnesses on their end for their case. Right? And that list, so get ready for this if you're not aware. Get ready for this. This list includes 4 people, or no, 6 people. 4 of them are Michael Proctor's friends that are on that text chain where he said all the awful things. Yes, so they subpoenaed one of his friends, and all he knew is that he was subpoenaed to court and he had to show up at a certain time. And so this so basically, I'm getting ahead of myself. So they filed that motion for additional witnesses, for the reason of, or for the sole purpose of getting Trooper Proctor's text messages into court for the jury to see. The Commonwealth filed an objection to that, claiming hearsay. There's a whole hearing about that at the end of the day today. But this motion to
It's a family tradition.
for the new witnesses is allowed contingent that they have to depose the witness beforehand. So basically, imagine being Michael Proctor's friend right now that just got a subpoena to court, and you get that knowledge and you have no idea what the hell that's about. And then you get a phone call from the prosecution being like, hey, the defense is calling you as a witness for this trial because of text messages in this text chain. You can't delete it. You can't do anything about it. It exists. It's on the record. And you have knowledge of it. So you have to show up. And it's like, if that were me, I'd be shitting my pants. So he had to testify that he knew everybody in the text chain. He knows that it exists. And he knows everybody in the text chat.
I feel like I watched him walk into the courtroom today. He wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong.
Well, and that so basically the Commonwealth, I mean, the defense's goal is to introduce all of Michael Proctor's text messages, and someone's got to read them, right? So they're going to take
poor
this.
Schmuck's gotta get
This
up there.
poor schmuck is going to get thrown under the bus and be hated by the world for eternity, because he's going to be the poor schmuck that was selected to read all of Michael Proctor's text messages. Now, if that were me, I'd be like, you can serve me a freaking body warrant, but I will not go. You can arrest me. I will fight you. I will, like, by any means, I will not be testifying to this shit. I'm not reading these text messages.
That's kind of fucked.
I know. So, what they have to rule on. So, what with that testimony, because they show. So, he showed up in court after the jury left today. He showed up in court, and the defense was like asking him questions like, "Hey," they have a printout of all the text messages for the group chat, and they're like, "Hey, have you seen this before?" And his face just went, just dropped. And he was like flipping through the pages and shaking his head, and he's like, "Yeah, I've seen this before." But the Commonwealth claims hearsay because, like, the direct source of the person that's, like, sending those awful text messages, like, isn't there to defend himself, so they can't allow those in. And then
So
the
why wouldn't
Commonwealth,
the defense just call Proctor?
well, getting to my ultimate point here. So, because of all of that, the defense, like, gives their reasoning why they, like, want or don't want certain people. So they said why they want to call this friend of Proctor, because he's in the text chain and can attest to all this stuff, and that's why they want to include it and interview this guy. And then Hank Brennan, and I hate this guy so much, but I will give him a lot of props for how he handled this, because I would do the exact same thing, because nobody wants to call Proctor. Like, the Commonwealth overtly did not call Proctor. Nobody wants to touch him. But the defense wants those text messages in evidence and presented to the jury to show bias. So the Commonwealth deliberately didn't call Proctor for that reason. And what they're doing by filing the motion against this testimony is saying, like, if you want these text messages in on the record, you have to call Proctor. And the defense does not want to call Proctor.
Why wouldn't they want to?
Well, because he's not gonna help the defense at all.
Yeah, but you can have him read all of his texts again in court.
No, but the problem is on, like, for, like, direct examination, you're really limited in your scope as to, like, the questions that you can ask, because the only questions that you can ask are questions that will help your case on direct examination. So that really hurts the defense, because literally nothing Proctor did helped. Or, like, yeah, you just can't call him, because everything he did was biased and corrupt. So you can't call a witness to the stand just to essentially discredit him. And the only thing the defense can do is discredit this guy because he's a piece of shit. So they can't really call him. So that's why they're going through this route of, like, well, who else was on the text chain? It's a bunch of his high school friends. We're going to contact one of his high school friends who may be willing to testify, and then we're going to subpoena him, and now he's going to have to talk about this. And the Commonwealth's argument is that it's essentially hearsay because, like, there's no context behind calling this guy. Like, we didn't even call the lead investigator in this, so why would his text messages be relevant? It's super slimy, but I have to give Brennan some credit. He literally... like, when they were filing for that motion, he had the last word, and he was just essentially just like, do it. And I was like, that's pretty ballsy. He is a fucking weasel, but that was ballsy.
Yeah, it seems that he's resorted to Jackson's attempts.
Early tactics.
Yeah. I've noticed that today with the...
At least Jackson can do it with, like, a hint of sarcasm. And Brennan comes off as just being, like, overtly offensive. And it's just like, yo, dude.
Got you on that one. Okay, let's go on that one.
Well, he's basically just saying, like, well, did you do this calculation? And they're like, no. And then he's essentially just like, well, then you must have learning disabilities. And it's like, whoa, damn, okay. Like, that's aggressive. Let's back up a little bit.
Whoa.
Nobody said that.
That would seem personal.
Yeah, like, you're coming off pretty strong here, buddy. And I think he can't help himself because he's a career defense attorney. Which makes perfect sense because, like, he sucks as a prosecutor. Which really, like, if you're Lally at this point, like, why haven't you moved out of the country?
I don't get how that guy become became a prosecutor. He just he's cleaned himself up this time around, but the last trial he just always looked so bummy.
The only time he's said words is with witnesses that don't matter. Because he brought back in the what if any.
Yeah, but at least his suits fit this time around. Last time he just looked like.
Well, they're they're just charging the Commonwealth on that one. They're like, hey, you want a Versace suit? Don't mind. Don't worry about it. It's on the Commonwealth. And Bev's like, here's my Amex Black card. That's tied to the state funds. Get something that looks like you're not an ambulance chaser. Could you do that for us? Valerie's like, what, if any, restrictions do I have on price?
Just make yourself look presentable for the sidebars. How to be a truck driver? How do you keep making more YouTube videos live with YouTube? Huh? You just meant to type that in Google and you typed it in video chat? What? Ooh, cold chill. Oh, shit, I forgot to hit turn the thing on. The sad part about the YouTube chat is that they're always talking about Auntie Bev being an alcoholic, and it's like, do you blame her? Having to listen to these people bitch and moan all day. I'd be an alcoholic if I had to do that case one time. She's got to do it twice.
She's an alcoholic. Like, regardless, like, she is friends with all of the people that potentially could have committed this crime. Okay?
Is there proof of that?
Yes, there are direct connections.
The only one that I've seen is her renting a vacation house.
Beach house?
Yeah, to someone that was in the house.
She's also been the judge on several other trials regarding less violent crimes, but still like court cases involving someone related to this family, multiple occasions.
Then why haven't they asked her to recuse herself?
They have.
Oh.
The defense, at every point they're allowed to legally request her to recuse herself, has filed that motion, and she has denied it every single time. To which I say, why doesn't that automatically get appealed? And that is one of the major issues with the judicial system. It's very, very specific. It's very uncommon. But it is very important.
Yeah, I don't understand why the judge.
And I think the restrictions for, like,
first time watching. Well, welcome, sir.
Your ability to preside over a trial based on, and I think that relation should be, one, established, and two, reviewed every time potentially a judge takes on a case. I think there should be an independent review based on the evidence that's been submitted before the trial, that there is a potential for bias by an independent auditor. So that way you can ensure it before the trial even happens. Because there could be somebody by, like, a different last name. It could be something. Oversights and stuff, which is essentially, this case is just a series of multiple significant oversights. But it leads to this, and there's no, like, once it has gotten to the point, so once it got to the trial the first time around, the only person that can make a decision in terms of the outcome of the trial is the judge. So, unfortunately, she can sit there the entire time and just be like, yeah, no bias, no bias, no bias.
Yeah, I don't get why the judge gets to choose. Shouldn't it go before another judge? Because I feel like that's a conflict of, like...
So the problem is that they can't... It's the timing of everything. So, like, they already have appeals to the Supreme Court, which they deferred their ruling of that until the end of this trial. So, like, one depends on, like, the amount of, I'm not even gonna call it red tape. It's just like Scotch tape, because it's clear, but it still gets in the way. It's like what seems obvious is not obvious. It's just so annoying. It's like, could you please? There's just one thing that matters. Well, two things that matter, and I have a huge problem with this stuff too. It's just like there is, and there should be, and there always should be. I don't care who you are, but, like, there should always be a separation of church and state. Always. But two, like, you can't make a person that has the ultimate influence, like the de facto decision maker on subjective things. Like, come on. You need to have a committee. You can't just let the judge sit there and be like, I'll allow it.
You know how long it would take if they had that? Every objection had to have a committee's decision?
Right, but how it's done in every other state, which makes sense, is just like, you object and you state your grounds. And that would eliminate, like I've said several times, like, this jury is actively frustrated with the amount of sidebars. So it's like, if you're a judge, right, and you have been, like, the amount of sidebars last trial, I think, has doubled. Or is double to what it is this time. There's not nearly as many sidebars as there was last time, up until this point. So, like, why on God's green earth would you want to make that a potential issue? Like, they've already, within the first week, told you, like, we don't understand the sidebars. It sounds like you're just telling the defense to F themselves, but you're hearing out the prosecution every time. So, like, that's our reasoning that we don't like it. And they didn't address the bias. They just, like, addressed the fact that they don't like the sidebars. So, like, we're sorry you don't like sidebars, but sometimes it's important for the consistency of the trial. It's like, F yourself. And, like, fire everybody. Oh, did you see the big news today?
About?
Taylor Swift.
I don't keep up with Taylor Swift, so no, I'm gonna go with a no.
Well, all the clowns out there that have been talking about, like, for years about, like, Rep TV and, like, Reputation, Taylor's version, all that stuff's gonna be coming out. Well, she just won her court case and bought back all of her own original music. And let me tell you that my wife has been a part of the, like, deep dive conspiracy theorists. You know, it's like, who's Frank Pepe? Like, that kind of conspiracy. For years. And the entire time I've been saying that Taylor Swift's never going to release the Taylor's version of Reputation. She's going to go to her grave after leaving a bunch of hints, and her dying breath is going to be like, gotcha, bitches. I've told my wife that for years. And today, she finally won the legal battle with the corporation that owned the master copies to all of her albums up to a certain point. So she now owns all of her music. And she was basically just like, hey, I know you guys were expecting, like, my version of Reputation, but I actually never even recorded it. So, and I just bought all my music back. And rough estimates are that she bought the rights to, like, her first 5 albums back for, like, around $1 billion. And I learned that she made around 750 to 900 million off of her Eras tour. So my wife actually called me from work today to tell me that this event had happened. And I was like, so all y'all just essentially supported her GoFundMe page to buy her music back.
Yep. Oh, those people buying the
for the Eras tour that
Taylor's
were like $3,000
of everything.
Everyone with the Taylor, yeah. And so
and
I was
all
like,
these people that destroyed their originals now.
Yes. So that was one of my first questions. I was like, now that you have been officially used, Can we just admit that the Taylor's version of all of these other albums completely sucked? Like, the originals are the originals, and they're better because they're original. It's not like a copy. It's like covering your own album 10 years later. No one wants to hear that.
I don't even want to hear the original. I did see that Five Finger Death Punch is doing the same exact thing now. They're re-recording all their old shit. Because their old record label sold all their masters. It's like, is this the new thing now? Is this the new thing? They know what's going to happen, right? She's going to re-release all the old albums and people are going to go out and buy them again.
I didn't think about that. What's funny is I had said, like, all along for the past several years, I was like, she's never going to do that. She's never going to release Rep TV, like Reputation Taylor's version, and on her dying bed, she's going to just be like, because they're always being like conspiracy theories, like, oh, it's going to be released on this date because X, Y, and Z, and it never happens. And I was like, my hypothetical was always like, she never did it. And then y'all are going to be waiting for like 40 or 50 years. And then on her deathbed, she's just going to be like, gotcha, bitches. And then just dies. And it never comes out. So that was like my secret hope. And the fact that she like never recorded it, I was just like, yeah. I knew it.
This is the plan all along.
Mm-hmm.
Peaches is the only one that saw through the bullshit.
Well, the way I saw it is that, like, she's been in a court battle to get her music back for like 10 or 15 years. And the only thing that was keeping her from winning the battle was she needed enough money to buy the music from the record label. So what did she do? She made her own albums and then called them Taylor's version, and everyone bought that shit up. And then she went on tour and she made like $750 million by going on tour. And then what she do? She used that money to go buy back her albums. So I called it, I was like, the Eras Tour was literally her GoFundMe.
Don't say that because it's just going to
Prove
drive
me wrong.
Her nutso fan base is going to be like, oh my god, we help support her. We help support do this.
So I said that because I like worked through that logic with my wife. Because like I said, my wife called me today to tell me that. And so I worked through that logic, and I was like, it's essentially just like a GoFundMe page.
They happily would support
and she's
it.
like, I can't. And then
But
she texted her friend what I said, and then she laughed, and she's just like, all right, that's fair. And then she went on TikTok, and she was scrolling through, and then she saw someone, and she's just like, one of the TikToks was just like, so glad we could contribute to the GoFundMe. I was like, okay. All right. Then we all agree. This was The entire Eras tour was a money grab.
You don't say.
Yeah. But I'm just like, all you clowns that went there and bought the Taylor's version for everything and refused to listen to the old shit. Let me paint out a hypothetical for you. What if she never came out with her Taylor's version for anything, but still came out with the albums? The end result was still going to be the same. Like, she was in court to get her music back. She was going to win that. She just needed the money. It may have taken her a little bit longer, but the end result's still the same. So how foolish do you feel buying all of her albums, her Taylor's version albums?
They don't, because they're going to rebuy the originals. Bet.
I know, she already said that she's like had already like re-recorded her debut album and she likes the way it sounds. And I was just like, oh, F you, lady. Listen, you already adjusted your debut album because instead of saying you're gay, you changed it.
Gonna put out all the originals and people are gonna buy all that shit back up. Look how crazy these people are that are standing outside Target fighting just to get a goddamn book. Well, Taylor re-released her first album. Gotta go buy it. And I'm over here as a Ghost fan, everybody making fun of his version of Bohemian Rhapsody. And I'm sitting over here like, you know what? It's not great, but it's a lot better than what I thought it was going to be.
It was not good.
No, it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be terrible. Like I am.
It kind of was terrible.
It wasn't though. It was. If you're a Ghost fan and you know his sound,
I'm not.
And you go in and you're like, oh, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be terrible. This is gonna suck so bad. And then you're like, you listen to it and you're like, okay, he didn't fumble that as bad as I thought he would. I was impressed because I thought it was gonna be like completely just dreadful. And who the hell is Kaylee or Uchi? Who the hell is this person?
Doshi?
Kaylee Uchi? Kylie Uchi? Something like that. Essentially, she's got a problem with Sleep Token, so she blocked out Sleep Token being number one on the Billboard and blocked out the picture of the lead singer. And when questioned about it, is like, I don't feel comfortable posting something with someone doing blackface because he paints his entire body black underneath the mask and everything. And it's like, you got a problem with someone wearing black face paint, but not Morgan Wallen, who's notorious for dropping the N-word. It's like, okay, all right, you're an idiot. Someone's butt hurt. She's not number one.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying, I don't need this in my life anymore. I really don't. Like, I'd like to keep up with current events and like current lingo and stuff. Like, I'd like that. It's like I don't need this bullshit.
I don't even. I've never heard of her. With 2020 GMC Denali?
Where am I dropping this corn?
Let's see. We don't have a place to store it yet, so just sell it. And it looks like the farmer's market is gonna be the best option. It's the farmer's market is right next to the shop. It's to the right of the shop. I've been watching.
Right next to the shop?
Yeah, it's to the right. If you go to where you pick up equipment at, it's the building to the right of it.
Oh, farmer's market.
Yep. But we've been watching the Earnhardt documentary on Amazon Prime, and it just makes me go, God damn, NASCAR used to be such good shit. Now it's shit.
Dude, what surprises me every time, like when I look at the old cars, I just assume that they're doing like 100, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, he's doing like 220 miles an hour." I was like, "In that thing?" Like, Jesus, they used to be ballsy.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know how Richard Petty won all of his championships, right?
Mm-hmm.
He'd come in halfway through the race and be a lap down, and they'd drop a Hemi underneath the hood, and he'd go back out there and lap the entire field. So they used to get away with so much shit. It's crazy. So he wouldn't get.
I mean, I'm all for everything being equal, but
he wouldn't be able. He wouldn't get the race win, but he'd still get the points. That's why he's got so many championships and not a ton of wins. Because he notoriously did it at Dover one year. Was it Reagan was at the race? I think it was Reagan was at the race, and he was 2 or 3 laps down. Halfway through the race, he come in and they dropped a Hemi underneath the hood, which was outlawed. And he come back out, and not only did he make up all of his laps, but he put the entire field a lap down. And when they asked him why he did it, he's like, "I just wanted to meet the president."
I mean, that's fair.
Dude broke his collarbone. Got back in the car 6 days later. One tough son of a bitch. But I will say the cars look so much cooler back then than they do now.
True.
When they introduced the car with the wing, that's when it took me completely out of it. Now they just look completely ridiculous. Haven't gotten to the last episode. We were halfway through the third episode before I got server going, so I'm curious to know if Teresa has any say in what the documentary is. She is so freaking controlling over Earnhardt's image, but yet she hasn't been featured at all in the documentary, other than like a few old interview clips. Like, despite how your feelings towards the kids are, like, I feel like that was something you'd want to be a part of, telling his life story. Even if you don't have like any relationship with the kids, like you should put your side out there.
Yeah, but money does that to some people.
Oh, she was even trying to tell Dale Earnhardt Jr. that he couldn't use his name. He could not use the Earnhardt name.
Mm-hmm.
She was that controlling, which technically is Dale Earnhardt is not his name. His name is, I think his name's Ralph. If I remember correctly, his name's Ralph Dale Earnhardt.
Yep.
He just went by Dale Earnhardt Jr. And Senior built that freaking team to dominate restrictor plate races, and then after he was gone, like, she just threw all that out the window till they couldn't even get cars to finish races. And I don't know if it was mentioned in the documentary or not, but she actually kept him away from, after he left, she actually kept him away from him. I wouldn't let him anywhere near, like, the old farm, the Senior's old farm and everything. Just like, dude, she's a bitch. They subtly hint at it in the documentary, but they didn't. Like, he's been pretty upfront about it prior. Like, the whole military school idea didn't come along until she came along. And then it was like, yeah, she can't handle the kids. Dale Jr.'s getting too rambunctious. He's gotta go to military school and needs more structure. Of course, the sister, she just went because Junior went. She was like Junior's mother throughout this whole situation. Well, I just popped tires on that 9R.
Beer pick.
Sugar honey iced tea. Is chat stuck or is no one talking? I see there's 17 people here, but no, there's no way anyone's talking. Hold on, let me refresh, because last time it took me refreshing, I saw there was, okay, yeah, no, there's still nothing. All right. You just never know anymore with YouTube. Because last week or the week before, someone was talking, and then I had like It wasn't showing up, then I refreshed it, and there was a bunch of messages just start popping up. Gotta keep it separated. Hey. Let's go and we'll dump this. We'll come back and empty the combine, and then we'll cut into the field here. Burger 19. That's where the truck. As soon as I got to where I was going to turn on that road, the server lagged out and my truck took off across the field. And I said, screw it. I've already gone halfway across, might as well finish it. And just, right across the field. Turn channel knob to set color. I wish we could. You can stop me, be mine. I don't know if you saw it or not, but Division 2 is up on Game Pass.
Oh.
He said something about playing it one night. I saw it pop up. I was like, ooh. And then I tagged Brandon, and he.
I already have it on Steam.
Oh, you already have it on Steam?
Yeah, it was on sale for like $3.
Well, you could have saved $3 and waited on Game Pass.
Well, it was before I had Game Pass. I do want to get Roadcraft though.
Yeah, I'll wait to see if it goes on sale. Or comes the Game Pass. 40 freaking bucks. I have a feeling it's going to be a lot like Mud Runner and all that. You do have the added gameplay of like building the road and stuff, but I feel like it's going to get tiresome really quickly. I don't want to spend 40 bucks on it.
Things I've been reading is most people have been saying to try to not relate it to Mud Runner.
Yeah, try not to. They had to put that out there to try not to relate it to it because it is so close to it.
Well, I think it's just like the developers only put out one kind of game.
Yeah, and then they tried to do, what was it, Expeditions or whatever, and it bombed horribly.
I mean, that's on Game Pass.
Yeah. That's what I said. Like, their whole catalog's on Game Pass, isn't it? So, It's only a matter of time before roadcraft comes to it.
I don't know. I think it looks a lot better.
Start right here.
Yeah. The hell? All my vehicles are gone. I can't see any vehicles.
You turn them off from options.
Oh my god, come on. Settings.
Yeah, if you go to hotspots, you can toggle them off and on. So if they're not showing up on the menu, you might have it toggled off.
Is that in the settings?
If you hit escape on the map options under hotspots, where it says vehicles, combines, trailers, tools, workers, if you click on them, it toggles them off and
there
on.
we go. Yeah. Shoot, did I reset that?
Man, not being able to see out my freaking front is really screwing up my lines here. I need to go and get rid of the tent.
My harvester's gone.
Nope. It's right here. It's directly underneath the 33 sign.
Oh shit. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Have you ever played Clone Hero? No? I've never even heard of that. Did you park your truck in the wrong field?
Yeah, 1,000%. Yep.
Okay. I was just like, I was like, oh,
Well,
maybe.
because I was looking, so I was over there, and that's where I was just like, oh, what field do I need to go to? Then I went to the map, and I was like, well, where the fuck's my combine? And then I couldn't find it, so my inquiry was based off of being in the middle of that field.
I was like, maybe he's done. He's gonna come help me do this field. So I parked the truck over here, and then just looking, you still got a bunch over that field. I was like, oh, wait.
Working on it.
The fan-made version of Guitar Hero, very popular. Oh. I haven't played Guitar Hero since... What was the one that had Slash in it? Was it Guitar Hero 2? Slash and Ted Nugent? Or was that 3? No, that's 2. It's on PlayStation 2. That's the last time I played Guitar Hero. That was when it was just the guitar before they came out with the whole... Like, you had the guitar, the mic, and the drum set. The one where everybody got pissed off at through the fire and the flames. I knew a guy that could play it on hard mode. He had no life. That was his primary goal back then, was to play that on hard mode. Kid Negro is very good at the game. Yeah, that was him. I think he had like was it the perfect score for all of them? He said that was back in the day though. I'm showing my age. I was like I said, Guitar Hero 2 when I was in high school. And they came out with Rock Band. And then Guitar Hero came out with Guitar, I think it was 3, where they came out with the full band setup. I only know about that because I used to work at the electronics department at Walmart, and that shit never sold. You know, we still had freaking Beatle rock bands that, like, they clearance them off, like 50% off, and they still wouldn't sell. You constantly had to move them damn things around. It was so annoying. I'm so sick of freaking Beatles Rock Band. Never played it, but I've got tired of hauling those damn boxes around all the damn time. Because they never stayed in the same spot. They would never, like, you constantly had to move them around. Because Walmart's logic is if you move it around, it's going to sell. But no. No. And what's worse is when you're constantly moving shit around, the box gets all beat up, and then nobody wants to buy a beat up box. So. Did you have those that didn't sell when you worked at Best Buy? The Beatles Rock Band?
I used to have the Beatles Rock Band.
Yeah, but when you worked at Best Buy, did they sell?
That was after I worked at Best Buy.
I just remember someone was talking about Clone Hero, which is supposed to be like a fan-made version of Guitar Hero. And I just remembered I was talking about the Rock Band Beatles edition. It wouldn't sell, and they even like marked it down to like 50% off, and they still wouldn't sell, and constantly had to move it around because Walmart's logic was like if you move it to a different area, like, people might see it and buy it, but when you move it around so damn much, you beat the box all up, and people aren't going to buy a beat up box. So I had to move those things at least twice a month, and I got so sick of it. It had like
Yeah, I mean,
10 of them.
So, like, the last time I worked in retail was, like, geez, would have been like, the early half of my senior year in high school. So that would have been 2006.
This was 2010.
So Rock Band, so Rock Band didn't come out. Trust me, I know when Rock Band come out because I got that. But when I started working, like, I think Guitar Hero had just come out.
Yeah, Guitar Hero 2 was out when I was in high school. 'Cause that's the one I had. I had Slash and Ted Nugent in it.
I will say that, like, Rock Band was actually pretty cool in terms of, like, teaching. Because, like, I never knew anything about the bass, and I would just start playing that because it was the only instrument available in order for like, like the full set to play. I learned a lot from that. But we used to have Rock Band over at the frat house, and we had our projector and stuff. And that was always so fun. So we actually had, like, for our frat parties, we had a room designated towards, like, if you wanted to do, like, karaoke for, like, a full band. So you could just have, like, a Rock Band room. It was pretty cool.
If you're in college now, you could have a all-American rejects room.
The guy's weird. He's gonna get in trouble for something soon. Guaranteed. Mark my words.
What are you expecting him to get in trouble for?
I don't know. He's just creepy. I saw him last summer, and now it's just like, ew.
He's always looked creepy.
Yeah, this time around, he's got some issues.
I think you just need to move along.
Oh, okay. Can do.
Did you hear the story about how they got kicked off the CKY tour? This has recently popped up in my newsfeed, and I thought it was hilarious. The CKY chose them, which that's a head scratcher. It's two totally different genres. Why CKY chose All American Rejects to go on tour with them, I have no clue. But basically, after a couple of shows, management was like, yeah, they don't want you on the tour anymore. And he was like, well, if they don't want us on the tour, they're going to have to come tell us they want us on tour. So basically, I guess the CKY just stopped paying them. So while CKY was on stage, they went and drunk all their beer. And he's like, we forced them to fire us from... we forced them to fire us. But at least we got a good buzz off of it.
Thanks.
I don't know if I'm just getting old and cranky or what, but like there's a TikTok come across where it's
Same.
like it was just like the top new or modern metal bands from each state, and I was watching through. I was like, dude, most of these bands suck ass. Like, what happened to good music?
Yeah, I think in general, I think unfortunately the pandemic expedited our journey into like the realm of what the fuck. Like, it never used to be this way for anything. It just expedited that. Like, it used to be like in the 60s when rock and roll music came out and the conservative parents were like shaking their fist and be like, wow, it never used to be like this when we were growing up. I mean, it's kind of the same thing, but it's just expedited significantly.
Don't get me wrong, there's still a few out there that I enjoy, but a lot of this stuff that they're pushing down our throats just sucks.
Yeah, that's my mindset too. So that's where I've just started like disconnecting. Like, yeah, like, is it inevitable that I'm going to be like an old, angry curmudgeon and be like, well, back in my day, we used to do it this way? Yeah, 1000%. But I also need to live my daily life. And that's where I'm just like, I don't care. Just give me the basics to live my life.
Sugar on the iced tea, man. Tired. Tired as hell, man.
Dude, same. I never recovered from the wedding. Like, I had a time at the wedding. I flashed back to, like, college years, and the only reason that happened, and the ironic thing is, so the dance floor, they handed out, like, little, like, styrofoam, like, sticks, and they had lights, like, rainbow lights in them, and you could change the pattern of the lights, which is cool, but they also had that for those, like, like the sunglasses, they have, like, the bars going across them.
Yeah.
Alright, so it had those, but it had, like, LED lights in them. And I was like, dude, I don't really know anybody here.
Did you go to the wedding or a rave? Like, what the...
Well, that was kind of my question. And I was like, I don't know anybody here. Like, nothing about my career or life has anything to do with these people. And I was like, I'm going to get hammered, and I got the sunglasses on, so no one's really going to know who I am. And I'm just going to go to town. So I just got hammered, and just had the sunglasses on, and worked out well. But it completely wasted my Memorial Day weekend. That was just absolute trash. Just the worst. So yeah, I feel like it's like Thursday night, and I'm absolutely exhausted. And I'm finding that, like, working a real job now, like, I actually need to get sleep. Because otherwise, like, if I don't get sleep going into the office on, like, Tuesday, I'm just a waste for the rest of the week. Like, I've been nodding off for the past hour. Really, I have. I'm just, like, relying on that Adderall to keep me awake. I'm so tired. And I'm kind of pissed because it was supposed to rain, like, all day tomorrow. We're supposed to get, like, 2 inches of rain. And it's like, cool. That means we're not doing anything. And I was really looking forward to that. And now they're like, oh, well, it's going to hold up once it gets here. So, like, you should be free and clear of rain by, like, 9 o'clock in the morning. It's like, fuck.
There goes that idea.
Yeah, I got so much to do.
What must use this program called Aftermath
I have forecast to do next week, and I had to meet with, like, the chief medical officer to, like, go over the budget and stuff, and it's just like, I don't know about this. You should be delegating this to other people. I was like, damn it.
Bless you.
I was like, sir, I'm a very Sorry. I was just told that I needed to schedule a meeting with you. He's like, that's fine. It's nice to meet. Jesus. He's like, that's fine. It's nice to meet you.
We're at the beach? Why am I hearing seagulls?
I had the, oh, shit.
Yeah, at least he's turning up his assignments all.
Okay, my body decided that it's just gonna fucking have allergies for the rest of the night, so...
Yeah, you're allergic to something in there. Jesus Christ.
Stop sneezing. Yeah. I know, it's like I take allergy med. I take 24-hour medication twice a day, and I do double the dosage.
Jesus.
So, like, my kidney is... I know, I have to get, like, blood work done before my next physical, which is next month, and I'm gonna have to fully explain to them why it looks like I have kidney failure. But I can't do anything else.
Doctor can't put you on a prescription?
We don't have...
Allergy medicine?
The only thing that's going to be prescription about that is to have, like, pseudoephedrine in it. That's the only difference. There's nothing prescription that they can do for allergies.
Back in my day, Claritin was still a prescription. Now it's over the counter.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I can go get the ones that have the pseudoephedrine in it.
I just didn't know
like
if there was something like new stuff like Claritin was back then.
Well, now they have the over-the-counter that doesn't have the, like, amphetamine side of it, but it's just, like, it's not as good. I mean, I've been taking it. I mean, that's the problem. It's, like, I've been taking it for, like, well over a month, and I've been doing, like, 2 a day, 24-hour ones. And I do, like, 2 in the morning, once at night. But, like, it's not even touching it. I mowed my lawn yesterday, and I was just spent. I literally, like, I couldn't even open my eyes because my nose was, like, so congested. And it's like, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Like, we can't just blame everything on global warming and stuff, like there's an actual problem that's related to the pandemic, and it's because there was like 2 years that like all the stuff that would like keep everything in check just didn't exist. It's like, I don't know if you have this problem in your area, but around here, like robins are a freaking nuisance.
Robins? We have them around here, but they're...
Dude, we have like infestation. Like our house is a source of, and I think because it was like just neglected for so long, but like all the birds, all like the window box outside of our kitchen window. It's nice. Like, and my wife did a very good job of like she had to get the tall ladder because she couldn't hit it from the stairs from the deck, and she planted like actual plants in there. It looks great. And then a sparrow came in and built a fucking nest right there. And then we have above our front door, we have like it's like very classic Americana. There's like an eagle thing that's like above our door, and like the bird tried to build a nest in that, and it just failed and fell to the ground. I'm always like, oh, I can't like touch it because they might want to like get the parts to build something new. And I'm like, yeah, no. And I ran it over with the lawnmower.
That's my stepmom. They right over her kitchen window every single year.
Well, there were no viable eggs in it. Yeah. And she just put it in. And it's just like, these birds are used to like this place not being maintained. So they just naturally feel like they can just build a nest wherever the fuck they want. And that's what they're doing. This place is being overrun. Like, I had a very important meeting this morning with the chief medical officer, and you know, I had like my cat under control. I knew she was going to be like not meowing. And I was sitting there, and all of a sudden you hear just like a drilling sound. And the chief medical officer is just like, I'm sorry, I'm hearing a noise. And I pulled out my headphone, and I was like, oh my god, we've a fucking woodpecker is hitting our house. Like right outside my window. It's just like I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Did you ever get rid of the bees?
I have not gotten rid of the bees, no. So I was just like, I'm very sorry for the noise. I was like, I did my best to make sure that it was quiet, but I was like, I'm currently dealing with a woodpecker issue. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And the chief medical officer was just like, he's based in Minnesota, and he's like, oh, I have had woodpeckers in my, like, on my house for years. And I was like, oh, that's great. So, like, what did you do to, like, help the situation? And he's like, nothing. I have, like, woodpeckers. And I was like, well, yeah, same. But, like, you have bees, too.
Well, ladies and gents, I think it's close enough to midnight for me. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Still unsure about tomorrow night, if I'll be here, if I won't be here. I'll let you guys know over in the community tab or in Discord. Prior to it, it really depends on the weather for tomorrow, so I'll let you guys know. But if you guys did like the stream, do me a huge favor, leave a like down below. It does help me out so very much, and I do appreciate it so very much. If you guys do want to see future live streams, be sure to click that subscribe button. If you guys want to know if I would ever do a live upload video, click that notification bell. As always, guys, thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!
So what are your thoughts on House